Okay, if you could do that, thank you. And Mim, let me know when we're ready to go.
Okay.
Okay, Mim is now the host.
Okay,
Yes,
ready to go.
thank you. Thank you. Well, first of all, apologies for absence. We haven't any because we're all here.
We are indeed.
Councillors, can I ask if there are any declarations of interest? Nigel.
Yes, Madam Chair, I'm declaring interest in number 0491. That's obviously 5/2021/07/0491. It is 7 Rosebery Avenue. I happen to reside next door.
Okay, yes, so that will count as a personal pecuniary interest. So, as I'm sure you know, Councillor Turnbull, you will need to sit that one out.
Yep, understood.
Thank you. Minutes of the meeting of the committee held on the 16th of March 2021. Could I just ask members of the committee if you're happy that I sign those when I can? It's a true record of the meeting. Thank you.
Okay.
Unanimous?
With any luck, I might be able to sign a bumper bundle of minutes fairly soon.
Fairly soon.
Item 4, do we have any public questions in accordance with standing orders?
No, none have been received,
No.
Councillor Farm.
Letters of objection. Well, I know we have a letter of objection with regard to 80 Luton Road. And since we're now moving on to agenda item 6, which is the applications registered the week ending the 12th of March, the 19th of March and the 26th of March. Are you happy, councillors, that we take 80 Luton Road first? Yeah, thank you.
Okay, so if I can draw your attention to page 19, where the item is listed on the agenda. So just to make it clear, Mr. Mann, that I will present the item giving the observations that I have, and then we'll invite you to give your 3-minute speech to the committee. And then after that, if I can just ask you to remain silent so that the committee can deliberate, and the chair will then come forward with a recommendation that we are going to send to the District Council. Okay?
Yes, certainly. Understood.
Fine. Okay, so number 80 Luton Road. This proposal is to extend rearwards along the party boundary by 4.8 metres to a height of 2.5 metres, with the addition of roof lanterns and lights in 3 locations across the property. Loss of single detached garage, although 2 parking spaces are provided. So Mim, actually it's page number 14 to 16 are the images.
Okay,
sorry, I probably should have
you.
drawn your attention to that immediately. So yes, you can see here on the plots where you've got the left-hand side where there's existing site location, then the one to the right shows where this rearward projection of 4.8 metres is going to go along the party boundary. And then I think if you move on to the next image, you can see that there is the existing elevation and the proposed. So the proposed is to the left and the existing is to the right. So you can see the addition of this single story extension rearwards on the party boundary. So loss of a single detached garage on the site, although 2 parking spaces have been provided. The building is locally listed and in the conservation area, and the application has been called in if the officers are minded to grant. I have recommended that you consider express concern over the possible impact on number 82 Luton Road from the rear projecting extension policy 69 and 72 of the district plan refers. Okay, Mr. Mann, if you'd like to present to the committee.
Thank you. So yes, good evening. My name is James Mann. I'm the owner of 82 Luton Road, which is the semi-detached house attached to number 80 Luton Road. Our family have enjoyed living in this part of Harpenden for 26 years, during which time we have been sensitive to the nature of the conservation area we're located in. We lobbied, for example, for the removal of the advertising hoardings on the Nicky Line Bridge, and took care to consult with the Harpenden Society in the design of our own site extension. We recognise the mark of a good extension being that either it looks like it has always been or is of architectural merit. Having viewed the plans for 80 Luton Road, we feel the plans fail to either achieve either of those aforementioned factors and contribute really to the overdevelopment of the plot, meaning that their garden amenity will be limited to a very small area of either patio grass which will restrict activity of the family home beyond its current usage. We recognise that there's an opportunity to correct past mistakes. We believe, whilst we recognise there's an opportunity to correct past mistakes, we believe that the current proposals increase large expanses of flat roof lines, which is completely out of character with the surrounding area. Furthermore, the plans create an impact on our amenity, given that we're bordered by the Nicky Line embankment on our left-hand side. And the plans will place essentially an 8.5 foot high wall, which extends beyond our kitchen extension, immediately on the right-hand side boundary of our garden. This wall will be just 60 centimeters from the main kitchen window, which is our kitchen diner, which is where we derive the majority of light into that space. And this point was completely overlooked in the planning submission when considering the impact on our amenity. We observe that the plans allow for the removal of the small garage, which is currently, pre-COVID this is, used as a treatment room for the business advertised as Zing Wellness that you can see on the internet. It is located at this location. We observed that the new plan submitted could function equally well as an office and family room, or as a treatment room, or even an enlarged studio, which would replace the smaller replace the smaller garage, which is due to be demolished. We're concerned that if the plans are approved and utilized for operating Zing Wellness, this would generate more clients and further impact limited parking already available. Our preference remains for the previously approved plans that were there for a site extension that would mirror our own site extension and would additionally bring balance to the two properties while providing the space the owner requires. Though we recognize this would not provide the potential for a treatment room or studio space for Zing Wellness. The previously approved plans would, however, maintain and preserve the character of a locally listed Victorian villa in the conservation area, and they wouldn't impact the amenity of our our property, which the proposed plans fail to do. The owner asserts that if planning is denied, they will use their permitted development rights to develop a similar structure to the proposed plans. Whilst this would be unfortunate, we believe that a separate standalone structure is still preferable, as this would allow air to circulate into our back garden. As this corner already suffers from damp, it would be an issue if someone's to build a brick wall there. So in conclusion, the current plans compound the loss of our garden amenity, impact the light to our kitchen diner at the rear of our property, would represent overdevelopment of the limited plot, and we don't believe there is sufficient design merit to preserve or enhance the locally listed status. Indeed, they exceed government planning guidelines in terms of how far the development exceeds in the rear of the property. Hence, they significantly impact us. A design featuring pitched roof lines that match the boundaries of our property, such as of the already approved planning permission that number 80 has, would provide significant additional space and would have reduced impact on both sets of neighbours and would not be objected to us. We therefore request that the planning be recommended for refusal on this occasion.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mann. Right, councillors, could I invite comments, please? Councillor Turnbull.
Thanks, Chair. I'm not on mute, am I?
No, we can hear you.
Right. The other point I want to raise, which hasn't been mentioned at all, is if you look at the site plan, you can see this 8.5 foot high wall, let's call it a wall, is also going to be along the boundary of plot 1B, which is going up the road. That's right. So in reality, effectively, you're building that large extra bit in effectively right next to the back garden of 1B. And I think that is just, in my own view, that's unacceptable. I think that's overdevelopment. And is it allowed to build something like that next to the boundary line in the rear garden next to the property next door?
Yep. Point taken. Thank you. I'm not sure in order who had the hands up first. Well, Councillor Cowley, I can see your hand up, so
thank you.
Go.
Chair.
Yeah, I've seen Paul. Yes.
Just 2 points. So firstly, I think I'd be inclined to agree from having looked at the images that this is an overdevelopment of the plot. There seemed to be more house than plot almost at one point. The other question I had was just around the parking. I know that we can't take into account whether it's currently used as a garage or not, but would 2 parking spaces be sufficient on a planning level for the number of bedrooms? I couldn't work out how many bedrooms there were.
The difficulty is I couldn't tell you how many bedrooms there are because of the application relates purely to sort of these single story extensions. So it's only the ground floor that is being depicted on the floor plans, unfortunately. But on the basis that we aren't adding any additional bedrooms to it, and there are 2 parking spaces being offered, I don't feel that we're in a position to actually say that that is insufficient.
Thank you. Councillor Court.
Well, I agree with all the points about street scene, overdevelopment, loss of light, and hence amenity. I think they're all absolutely valid. I do want to come back a bit to the parking, though, because I think there's something a little bit more than simply the parking on the site, and it relates to the business. And I went up there a couple of days ago, and I just to get out the car and look, and I got my car into the last slot that I could on Hollybush Road, and
Yes.
I had to take care to drive up to make sure that the car that came straight behind me still had access up
Yes.
that road. And I just wonder if highways or whatever should be alerted this, because should anybody choose to park there illegally, that would immediately cause a big obstruction, and it would be quite possible to do that without bollards or everything else. You know, it wouldn't take much lack of attention with a reasonably sizable car to block that one-way system.
Yeah.
So I have concerns about that for the broader community, on top of all the issues raised by the owner here tonight.
Thank you, because that's not an easy turning.
No, and it's quite blind when you come in from the north
Yes.
side.
Any other councillors? I mean, I was good. Oh, Councillor Drake.
Yes, thank you, Chair. I'm just a bit interested in what the rules are relating to using an extension such as this for a business. I mean, is this a use that would be allowed without a change of use for that purpose, or not?
I'm not sure that they've actually divulged within the application that is the intended use for it. See, this is the difficulty. I think this knowledge has been made clear to us by the objector that's given that to us, and obviously shared that within the letter of objection. But as a planning committee, we can only go on the basis of the information that has been provided to us in the planning application. I mean, we're all aware of sort of kind of ways of nipping and sort of tucking, in a sense, to achieve what people are wanting to achieve. But I think that's not a planning matter. That is actually a matter that comes really under licensing, to ensure that the correct usage is actually there in place for the property.
If anybody else wants to speak, I was going to say, I mean, I certainly have looking at this, taken the view that it is what is shown in the plans is out of keeping, both for a locally listed building and for the conservation area. The scale is out of proportion, and it's certainly an overdevelopment. And I agree about the loss of potential negative impact on the next door house. So I certainly, councillors, would recommend that we go for refusal.
Okay.
Could I just, are we all agreed that we recommend refusal? Thank you.
Unanimous.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
If you've got all those.
Yes, yeah,
down,
that's
I'm sure
fine.
you have.
I have.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mann. You're very welcome to stay for the rest of the meeting, but I imagine you've probably got other things to do this evening.
Well, no, thank you very much for listening. I appreciate your time. Thank you.
Mr. Mann,
Thank you.
before you leave, what I'll do is, once the recommendation has been properly formalised and agreed by the chair, I will write to you and let you know exactly what our recommendation to the district will be.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
Okay,
Right.
thank you.
Thank you for your
Good
time.
night.
Okay.
Good evening.
Good night.
Okay, councillors,
Okay.
if we go back to then page 17 to the start of the agenda, and the first item there is 5/2021 0324 at 1 Batford Road.
Okay, so Mim, I believe that there's 4 images for this. Apologies, I should have drawn your attention straight away to that Luton Road one. I was slightly discombobulated.
That's okay.
Right, okay, so number 1, Batford Road. This application looks to fill in the gap to the side of the ground floor kitchen element to the boundary line. So if you move to image number 2, yeah, you can see there that there was a gap along sort of the close board fence there and the existing protruding element. So they're looking to fill in the gap to the side of the ground floor kitchen element on the boundary line, extend the first floor bedroom over the ground floor extension, and add a bathroom to over the footprint of the existing bedroom. No increase in the bedrooms, just size. No change to the frontage. Other properties in the row of houses have done similar, which you can see just there, which by my red arrows on the screen. Property borders the end of the road, so therefore appears to have no effect on the neighbours. Consider no objection.
Yes, it's right on the corner there, isn't it? Any comments, councillors, or are we happy to go with the recommendation? Okay, if we could just. Thank you very much.
Unanimous?
Thank you.
Yes, we are unanimous. Right. 5/2021-0543 81 Station Road.
Okay, so this is number 5 to so 3 images, I think, for this, number 5 to 7. Okay, so this is a spacious plot with the road that slightly curves around. Proposal essentially is to build over the footprint and beyond of the detached garage. The garage is lost, but sufficient parking provision is provided with changes to the landscaping and the new crossover. There's no increase in bedrooms, just the size. The design is in keeping with the host property with a sympathetic roof design. 45-degree angle has been shown, although it is interrupted by the rear extension. Despite this, the extension is of a good distance away from number 83 Station Road. No loss of trees, just hedging reduced. Consider no objection.
Do I have any comments? Councillor Turnbull.
Nigel, sorry, yeah.
Sorry. Thanks, Chair. Yes, I'm just slightly concerned. I know it's only a single story, but yeah, it does go back awfully far in relation to the 45-degree line from next door. Yeah, I feel uncomfortable with that, I must admit. Well, I suspect I can't do much about it. That's my comment, Chair.
Do the others feel similar?
I didn't know particularly. Perhaps could we have a quick look at the plan again? Have we got the plan, the picture of the rear plan, just so we can have a look, another look?
Yes, I think it's you can see sort of on the proposed element, you can see the 45-degree line that's been drawn in, but I'm not sure actually, is there I'm not sure whether or not I've included the actual, what's number 7, Mim? Click on number 7 and see what that's depicting. Oh yeah, here we go. So you can see here the existing and the proposed. So I think if you're looking along the bottom line of the proposed, you can see that the section of the rear element, it is actually, in a sense, it's got a pitched roof to it, but it is only a single story. Yeah, so along to the next one, Mim, to the right, and then the last little section, you can see whether that's it, yeah. And then along to the next one, you can see the little section to the left, that's it, yeah. So that is the bit that protrudes, or the 45-degree angle is interrupted by that section of roof.
But it is single story, so.
Councillor Court would like to speak.
May I just pass another comment, Chair? Also, you've got 2 windows there. Looking at it on my bigger screen, there's 2 windows there facing the number 83 as well. Will these windows be frosted?
The ground floor level?
Yeah.
Yes, the ground floor level, we don't have to worry about them at ground floor level because it's deemed normally that there'll be an element of hedging or screening or, you know, a fence of some sort.
Okay.
Yep, Councillor Court.
Yeah, I was just going to comment on it. It's reasonably near where I live, so I'm quite familiar with that road. They are quite distinct, each house from the next. There is space and there's a lot of mature
I know.
trees.
Yes.
I'm not saying specifically that I've checked 81 to 79, but I can see why the single story, even if the 45 angle is meant to protect, I think there is a lot of protection there already. That's my view.
Yes, and I was going to say I agree, because I know the area well. You know, went from walking up and down Station Road and things, and they're big plots and big houses in that particular bit of Station Road.
Yeah.
So, and particularly since it's at ground floor level, I think Councillor Turnbull, I'm sort of quite comfortable with it. But
Okay.
you know, you must
Okay.
go with what you feel.
No, no.
Any other comments? No. So, Councillor Clark, are we happy to go with the recommend as written? Okay, thank you.
That's unanimous.
Thank you.
We're all, yes, that's unanimous. Thank you very much. Right, 2021 0541 at 22 St James's Road.
Okay, so we've got some images, numbers 8 and 9 for this one.
Oh, I lost it. Oops, sorry.
Okay, so proposal is to extend to the side of the property by just over a metre along the side of the property and extending 1 metre rearwards beyond the current footprint, removing the store to the side and thus creating a 1 metre gap along the boundary to the rear garden. A 4th bedroom is added to the loft space. Only 1 parking space is provided, as is the current situation, no tree works. And I've said, consider, whilst the committee have no objection to the proposed extensions to the property, they do, however, express concern that the insufficient parking provision of 1 allocated parking space for 4-bedroom property, policy 40 and 72 of the district plan refers.
Thank you. Right, councillors, do I have comments, or are we happy to go with that? Yeah, Councillor Cowley.
Just one, given the deficiency of the parking, I'm not familiar with the road particularly, but unless that is a particularly good road to find on-street parking on, I'd be inclined to make that more of a expressed concern and less of a, well, we have no objection. Not sure.
Yes. It's, I think St James's Road, I mean, I know it a little bit, it's like all roads in Harbordon, it's not, none of them are particularly easy. It's not as difficult as some, but I don't think there's any road where you don't have on-street parking and there's an issue. And I mean, I'm inclined that I would be happier if we simply expressed concern. Yeah, Councillor Court.
Yeah, I mean, I just wanted to confirm that in terms of what Councillor Cowley said, but just raise a slightly additional point that I think this is an opportunity to say very much that while we accept that there were properties developed with certain numbers of bedrooms that don't meet the spec of the neighbourhood plan because the neighbourhood plan's recent,
yes,
I think it opens it up. Oh, excuse me, I just need to go off that line. Sorry, I've just had an urgent call. I've just got to take. I'm sorry, but I will.
Okay.
I will go with. I think the recommendation is to go.
But we
with,
will just say express concern. Yes. Okay. Okay, councillors. So, if we happy to, we simply express concern.
Okay, are we happy just purely with the express concern? You weren't wanting to go stronger? Okay, that's absolutely fine.
That's unanimous then.
Yes.
Okay, fine. Okay, not a problem at all.
5/20/21 is 21 Ennis Close.
Okay, so we've got images numbers 10 to 13 for this one. Okay, the application is to extend along the width of the property to the rear by 3.5 metres, extend at ground floor level in front of the garage and add a 1st floor above. A 1 metre gap between the neighbour's property boundary is maintained. Neighbour's property extends marginally further back from the existing property's footprint, therefore reducing the impact from the rear and side extensions. The roof form is in keeping and sympathetic. The garage is retained and 2 allocated parking spaces provided for a 4-bedroom property. No tree work. I've said consider no objections subject to no loss of amenity to the neighbouring properties. Policy 72.5 of the district plan refers.
Thank you. I noticed on the St Albans portal a resident at Newton Close. It wasn't a letter of objection as such. They just passed the comment that concerned about possible loss of daylight to residents, loss of light to residents of Newton Close, and possible overlooking from the first floor balconies. Councillor Cousin.
Thank you, Chair. I'm just wondering if we can go back and have a look at the picture again, because it's kind of at right angles, isn't it, this property? So it looks that it's very close to the neighbour already. And I just wanted to have a second look at the plan. So there's a house where the blue car is, so seems very close already to the house in question. Can we just have a look at the plan again?
That one?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Move on to number 13, Mim, which shows the block plan. I think that one might be a little clearer for you to see the gap.
Okay. I
So
mean,
you
I
can
guess
say that
if,
the hatched area is essentially where the extension is going to be. So the hatched bit at the back is sort of a single story rear extension, and then they're looking to build over the existing garage and marginally further forward as well. They're extending the garage further forward.
Can we go back to the picture then with the garage? Okay.
Okay.
Yes, I think, as I say, given that somebody has made a comment, but although they haven't written a letter of objection, I mean, I'd be inclined to go with as suggested that we make it subject to no loss of amenity.
Okay, which is essentially what is what I've said. Were you happy?
Yes, it's what
Were
you
you
said. Yes,
wanting-
exactly.
Yeah,
Go
that's
with what
fine.
you
No, that's-
suggested,
I
Hez.
just wanted to be sure that there wasn't any additional wording you'd like me to add.
Yeah. No, I mean, I'm happy with that. Are we, councillors, are you happy with that?
That's
Thank you.
unanimous.
Okay, thank you.
5/2021-0546 3 Tarrant Drive does not meet criteria for a consideration by the committee. Similarly, for 5/2021-0379 7 Church Green. Then we've done 80 Luton Road. 5/2021-0435 9 Kirkwick Avenue does not meet criteria for consideration by the committee. And similarly, 5/2021-0485 2B Shakespeare Road. So then moving on to 5/2021-0491 at 7 Rosebery Avenue. Is this the one you're sitting out on, Nigel? Yes, it is, isn't it? Yes.
Okay, so this one is actually a material amendment to planning permission that was already granted in April last year. There aren't actually any images for this one, Mim. Yeah,
Okay.
I didn't
Bit
include
eager.
any. No, that's absolutely fine. So the proposal looks to extend the existing garage structure forwards on the plot by approximately 4 metres, infill to the back of existing lounge element in line with the main house, and add a small addition to the existing bedroom at first floor level. Garage is lost, however, sufficient parking provision has been provided. No loss of trees, a locally listed building in the conservation area, and I have said consider no objection.
Yeah, it looked okay to me, but I don't know if any councillors, any of you have got any comments, or we're happy to go with no objection. Are we happy to go with that?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Unanimous.
Okay, thank you.
Well, that was quick, Nigel. So
Yeah, well, in fact, yeah, it's minor amendments.
yes, 5/2021-0522 13 Hartwell Garden.
Okay, we've got images number 17 to 19 for this one.
Oops, gone past it. Sorry.
It's
Shot
okay.
past. Oops, it shot past. It's just gone shooting past. Oh gosh, hang on, I'll be there.
Don't
in a minute.
worry, it's okay. It's not a problem.
Right, here we go.
Okay, so 13 Hartwell Gardens. The proposal is to build over flat roof elements to the front of the property and partially over the linked detached garage. 2 Velux windows are included in the roof form. An additional bedroom has been added. Ample parking on the site. Properties in the street are positioned in individual styles on their own plots, with the neighbouring properties set well back and angled, therefore reducing the possible impact. And I have said consider no objection.
Do I have any comments? I mean, they're very well spaced, the houses on Hartwell Garden, so it looked okay to me.
Are you peeing enough fish?
So are we happy to go with that? Thank you.
Okay, brilliant.
Unanimous?
Thank you.
Right, moving on to 5, 2021, which is the extension of the existing buildings at Old Apiary site, Hatching Green. Well, it's sort of and renovating them, I think.
Okay, so we've just got one image for this, which is number 20. It wasn't a huge amount for me to show, to be honest. So this site, which is located in the Green Belt and the Harpenden Conservation Area, is currently disused, although historical usage has been proven for scientific research activities. The proposal seeks to marginally extend 6 of the 12 poor quality buildings on the site, ranging from brick built, lean-to, wooden and open fronted structures. The site borders the rear boundaries of the cottages in Hatching Green. There are 51 trees on the site, with the loss of 3 trees proposed, 2 to facilitate the proposal and another which is deemed dangerous. Details of possible replacements are detailed, although not plotted on the plans. And it's encouraging to see a disused building improved for rehabilitation again. Although cited in the Green Belt, precedence has already been set with structures already positioned on the plot. A certificate of lawfulness was approved in 2020 for the continued use as a research facility, and I have said consider no objection.
Councillor Cowley.
Thank you, Chair. Just a very quick one to check. When it says replacements are detailed, is that the right number of replacements, or is that some replacements?
There is no details of the numbers. There are suggested species of trees that could be used on the site to basically to replace, but they are not detailed as to what ones they're going to be and where they are going to be positioned on the plot.
Did you want to say something else, Councillor Cowley?
Yeah, thank you, Chair. Yeah, no, just a very quick one. On that basis, I have no objection to the application at all, but can we add some language in just about
details of the tree, details of the tree replanting? Yes, I'm sure they will be doing. I'm sure, given where it is, that they will be doing something suitable. Councillor Court, you wanted to speak?
Yeah, just for my clarification, because I'm all for this improvement of these buildings, but just trying to understand the term habitation. Are they turning into dwelling spaces, or are they're still research buildings?
Yes.
Research buildings.
Yeah.
Okay.
Essentially, yeah. The site
research.
Has,
yes.
Yeah, the site has not been used for a number of years, and in a sense, some of the buildings have fallen into sort of slight disrepair, really.
Yes,
so
they are very, very run. Yes. Okay, if you walk past them, you probably do, Paul. They're very run down, those
I'm
buildings.
Sure when I went past, I will recognise them. But I just wanted, it's good that they're being developed. I just wasn't sure it's for housing or.
No,
they're a bit to the side, but yes.
And to be fair, I struggled to actually see what they were looking to do. You're talking about a metre added here, a couple of metres added there. They are not changing in style or form or anything. They're just marginally increasing them in size.
Yes, and preferably having a building to work in that doesn't fall down.
Yeah, I don't think anyone wants to hold back the bees, so that's all right.
If I can interject, Chair, if you walk along there, you'll find a lot of the scrub has been cleared away. A lot of the what would be sort of what growth has grown up over the years. The whole site has been cleaned up quite considerably. It looks much more presentable now.
Councillor Livy would like to comment, please.
Well, I was just going to say what Nigel was going to say. Actually, that's all. So beat me to it.
Yes. Okay. Yes, I've walked along there. It is looking a lot better, isn't it? Yes. Okay, so I think we're minded to no objection, but perhaps just add in a line to say that we would be like to see more detail on the replacement trees in due course.
Okay, not a problem. I've added that.
Okay, are we happy with that? Thank you. You happy, Paul?
Okay. Yeah, that's unanimous.
Yes, thank you.
Okay.
That's right. I make everybody put their hand up just to make sure haven't made a mistake anywhere. Right, 5/20/21 25 Townsend Lane does not meet criteria for consideration by the committee. Similarly, 5/20/21 0589 at Rathbone House, 1 Roundwood Park. And similarly, 5/20/21 0551 for plot 2, Redbourne Lane, Hatching Green. So moving on to 5/20/21 0643 at 40 Townsend Lane.
Okay, so you've got images number 21 and 22 for this one. Okay, so this is a relatively modern building, and the proposal looks to extend at single-storey level to the rear behind the existing lounge element, which is extending 2.7 metres beyond the footprint of the existing dwelling. A bay window element is added to the 2 front windows and addition of an ensuite at first floor with changes to the roof form. No extra bedrooms are proposed, no side-facing windows to number 42 Townsend Lane, and appears to have no impact. Changes to the hard stand and to the frontage and a partial rendering to the property are proposed, which appears to be in keeping with other properties in the road. I'd say consider no objections, subject to no loss of amenity to number 42 Townsend Lane. Policy 72.5 of the district plan refers.
Do I have any comments? No, in that case, we're happy to go, no objection. Thank you.
Yep, unanimous.
Thank you.
5/20/21 0720 30 note shot does not meet criteria required for consideration by the committee. And then moving on to 5/20/21 0265 at 21 The Pleasance.
Okay, so we've got images 23 and 24 for this one. Okay, so permission has already been granted for a 3-bedroom and a 2-bedroom semi-detached pair of bungalows on the plot. This proposal mirrors the footprint of the approved scheme, but with the addition of accommodation in the roof with dormer windows, therefore adding an additional bedroom to each property, changing to be a 4 and a 3-bedroom dwelling. 3 and 2 parking spaces proposed for each property, and the road is made up of differing styles of property. Consider no objection.
And for any comments? Yes, Councillor Court.
It's a brief one, but when was this permission given? Is it in the time of the neighbourhood plan since it's been in its existence? The original permission.
It looks like it would have done, yeah. I mean, just judging from the number.
Yeah.
When was it dated? So yeah, because the neighbourhood plan came in when was it? It was February 2019, wasn't it? I
Yes.
think it came in,
Yeah.
and this was approved in November 2019.
Okay, yes,
So,
yes,
yeah.
thank you. No, my only comment is I don't think this is going to change my overall view, is that one of the aspects that we're looking for in a neighbourhood plan is a diversity of property, including with preferentially like bungalows, and it's no longer a bungalow because
Yes.
out of them. I don't not saying that changes my perspective on it, but I
Yes.
just thought we noted.
Yes,
that
and
there is,
I thought, yes, and the other thought I had actually as well is, and again, it wouldn't change my view because I don't think there's grounds to, but it's just, it was rather good to have a 2-bedroom property because, there aren't too many 2-bedroom properties in town, but I mean, it wouldn't change my view that, I mean, I can't disagree with no objection. It just seems, yes.
Well,
Yeah,
it's just
I've noted
disappointing,
it
isn't
like
it?
Yes,
Yeah.
but I don't think there are any grounds for objecting.
no, I think you're right.
Yes. So are we agreed to go with the recommendation? No objection.
It's unanimous.
Thank you.
Then 5/20/21 0581 for 25 Westminster Fields for some new air conditioning units.
Okay, so I don't think I included an
No.
image of this one. I don't think, Mim, did I?
You want me to have a look?
I don't think I did. I'm fairly sure I
I
didn't. In
don't
fact,
think-
no, I don't
I
think
had I had to look at the plans online. I mean, you had to look pretty closely
yeah,
to
there
find,
wasn't a lot.
find the little tiny bit that was the air conditioning unit.
Yeah, so 2 air conditioning units are already in situ on the
Yeah.
property, on the side of elevation, but looking at the drawings, it doesn't appear that they actually were commissioned. I think that they realised that they were put in and then needed to have planning permission to enable them to be in situ. And probably once they sought planning permission, they realised that their location on the side of the dwelling was not going to be acceptable. So the new positioning is to the rear of the property, which would appear to reduce any possible impact on the neighbouring property. So I've said consider no objection subject to no loss of amenities to the neighbouring properties from noise nuisance, which is policy 82, which relates to noise nuisance.
Yeah, I mean, I'm okay with that. Any comments, or are we all okay with that?
That's unanimous.
Thank you.
Thank you.
5/2021-0624, 4 Park Rise, does not meet criteria for consideration by the committee. Similarly, 5/2021-0689 at plot 3 at South Home, Redbourne Lane. And again for 5/2021-0349. So then move on to 5/2021-0653 Orchard House, 2 Orchard Avenue.
Okay, so I've got 3 images for this one, number 25 to 27. Okay, so the proposal is to replace the existing conservatory with a brick-built structure and fill in the gap to the rear to make the footprint more uniform. Also is to extend at first floor level above the existing playroom and a new ground floor extension. No increase in bedrooms, just size, no impact on the neighbours with no overlooking windows, ample parking, no tree works. It borders but is not in the conservation area. Consider no objection.
Yes. Personally, I thought it looked an improvement. It sort of made the house hang together. It was more consistent.
Yes,
so yeah, so anybody, any comments, or are we all happy to go with no objection?
Yep,
Thank you.
unanimous.
Thank you.
Oh, I think, is that it?
That is it.
Oh, gosh, we got through that quickly tonight.
I was lucky.
Yes, I know. For once, we didn't have pages
Yeah.
of endlessly controversial applications. So moving on to just note item 8, Tree Works applications registered the week ending the 12th of March, 19th of March and 26th of March for noting, and similarly item 9 for noting technical applications for the same period. If anybody has any comments. And then agenda item 10 again is for noting is a weekly list of decisions, which I have to admit I looked through very quickly. So I don't think there's anything. I suppose we might just note the refusals. I noticed the application for Beeson End Lane was refused, as was the application for retrospective fencing at Gilpin Green. So it's always just interesting to notice the refusals.
Mm.
So I think, what I noticed, there was some debate about the change of use at Batford Mill. That got conditional approval, but I think those were the main. I think they were the main highlight. Oh, and the application for Farm Close at 5 Molescroft was refused. I think we suggested refusal on that one. So it's always interesting to just notice any refusals. And that brings us to the end of the agenda. We've got through that one smartish tonight, so thank you very much, councillors. You could have a bit of an evening, so treat yourselves to the rest of the evening off. And we meet again, is it, I can remember, is it the 26th of April?
27th.
27th. Yes, good. And right, thank you very much for your input, everyone. And see everybody on the 27th.
Okay, so meeting closed at 8:16.
8:16, yes. Thank you, Mim and Hev.
Okay.
Your
all
work
right.
as ever. Thank you.
That's
Good
okay.
night.
Night
Good
night.
night.
See you soon. Bye. Bye.
Bye.